how's it going, everybody? I thought I would mix up the location a little bit today. This is my back storage room where I store all my lovely little boxes for the guns and everything. Um, I have just been slammed recently with just stuff and just, business. So I wanted to do another video, and I'll start off by saying this, that I used to work in the medical field before this, as many of you know, and anytime we got towards a full moon, um, like, just people lose their minds, is the best way I can put that. And today I'm going to do another, just sort of crazy customers video, and I think I wrote down some points here. I'm filming this on Thursday, the 17th. Whether I get it out tonight or not is irrelevant. But I'm Tuesday through Saturday, so all of these points I'm about to mention happened over the course of the last 2 days. I don't know what it is about full moons. Today's been fine. Today is the full moon, but it's like, a couple days leading up to it and a couple days after it. Just people lose their minds. It is, I don't understand. I'm going to start off with one that happened to me yesterday morning. I had a guy, so I'm Pearson Firearms, that's the company name. There's a big banner on the side of the building and everything. We partnered with a training facility, but they have moved out. So just firearm sales happen here. So this guy walks in, and he's like, "Hey, I saw you guys did training." I said, "Yeah, the training part, they've moved out. We just handle firearm sales." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I was wondering if, do you have the number for the training guy?" I said, "Yeah, I can give it to you." He's like, "Yeah, I was wondering if he would train my dogs." I was like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw he did training, so I was wondering if he does dog training." And it took almost every little bit of me to not start laughing right then and there, but it's just, I mean, I kind of see where he put two and two together, but I'll just let you marinate on that one yourselves for a little bit. I was like, it's a firearms training facility. Even when they were here, they taught concealed carry classes, stuff like that. You see the word, I don't know. You see the word training and you're like, oh, dog training, right? A gun store teaches dog training, right? Right? Oh my gosh, I'm still, I still don't understand where he got that from. I don't know. I'm gonna try to keep this video, I'll try to keep it short, but I love to ramble, so. So I had another guy, and I have it here. This is the Walther WMP, okay? It's just like any other gun. This one's chambered in .22 Magnum. It is just like any other gun, where, you take it off, this slide off the grip. It's got a barrel, a spring, and a slide. That's all you ever, for most people, especially if you're not gun savvy, that's as far as you should go. So this gentleman, if you look right here, I don't know, the lighting back here is not the greatest, but if you look right there, yeah, there's a roll pin that holds all the internals in place. So I'll try to break this down for you. If you're familiar with Glocks, they are pretty easy. If you want to go past, by taking the barrel and the spring out, that's called field stripping. If you want to go past that point, on a Glock, it is pretty, it's nothing crazy. So he had, gone past field stripping for his Glock and thought he could do it for this. Well, let me tell you, I've kind of looked at it and I started to play with it, and is about the worst mistake he could have made. So they obviously tell you do not take that roll pin out because there is so many layers of, there's two springs that are under really tight, compression, and you have to basically hold them in place while you drop it in the slide and then slide it up. And without the use of, I have no idea how they even did that in the factory, but I love it. He's like, oh, well, I used to take my Glocks all the way apart, so I thought I could do it with this. And I forget where, he had the manual with him. It says, like, do not go past field stripping on this gun. And that is why. So I have no idea if, I doubt the warranty will cover this thing, but I have no idea. It says, big like arrow, do not take out this roll pin. And for whatever reason, we took out the roll pin. I don't understand people. The next one I want to get into, again, I'm tired right now. I was trying to film a video for you guys like a week ago, but good lord. I thought my Tuesday would be nice and calm. I could come in here, film a video, and just, no. It is not. The next one I'm going to discuss, and it's a kind of peculiar situation, but long story short, there's something called a Kimber Sapphire Ultra 2, I think is what it's called. And it's a 9mm, like really high polished blue gun. Beautiful gun. On average, brand new, it retails for like $2,000, and my cost to buy one at the time was $1,600. So you make about $400. It's actually a really good margin, but they only make it about 5 weeks in the year. So very rarely make the gun. So a guy came in, he was trying to sell it to me. We agreed upon a price, and he was like, yeah, I'll tell you. We agreed upon like $1,200 is what I'd give him for store credit if he wanted to buy a gun. And at the time, again, my cost to buy a new one was $16, so I was like, you know what, I think 12's fair. Even then, I was probably a little high, but, it is what it is. So, he's like, oh, you know what, let me go home, think about it. He was looking at I have a SIG 1911X, it's $1,500. So he calls me up Tuesday. Thought I had a little burp coming. He calls me up Tuesday and says, hey, I know you offered me $1,200 for this gun, but I really like to be at $1,200 plus $200 and pick up your SIG. So I was like, okay, so now you're appraising your Kimber at $1,300. Well, I looked on Lipsy's, and they're having a wonderful sale on them right now. So brand new, I can now buy them at $1,300. So within the span of a week, there's been a really good sale, and I can get a brand new one for $1,300. So I was like, okay, you're saying you want $1,300 for your used one. I can buy a brand new one for $1,300. Unfortunately, you should have taken the deal while you were here. I would have gotten screwed, but it is what it is. And like, this guy was he was perplexed. He was like, what do you mean you can get a new one for $1,300? I'm like, there's a great sale on them. And I looked it up on Grab-A-Gun. Grab-A-Gun is selling them, again, brand new. They should be around $2,000. And Grab-A-Gun right now is selling them for $1,455 brand new. So I was like, look, buddy, like, I told him you should hold on to it and sell it later. I would, if we're currently in that 5-week cycle where they're making new ones, I told him, I was like, look, I would hold on to it for at least another month or two and then try to get rid of it, but no, my $1,200 offer no longer stands, just because, again, it's, situation has drastically changed since last Saturday. And he was all, huffing and puffing kind of thing. He's like, well, I really wanted to be at $1,200 and for your SIG. And I said, that math does not add up. 12 plus 200 is 1,400. The gun's 1,500. So no, you're not at 12 for your Kimber. You're at 13 for your Kimber. And no, I can buy a brand new one right now on Lipsey's for 13. And he almost couldn't understand that sales happen. And I was like, again, right now, you, as a customer, you can go on and get a brand new one for $1,450. So, I just, yeah. It was like talking to a brick wall at that point. He's like, well, yeah. We did this, like, back and forth where I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm really no longer interested in it. Especially at 12, I'd be like $900 now. Like, just the price of the gun tanked over the weekend. And he just kept, we did this back and forth like 3-4 times where I was like, yeah, you know, I'd be nowhere near 1,200 anymore. Well, I'd like to be at 1,200 for the gun. Yeah, I'm not interested at that price anymore. Yeah, but 1,200 and 200 and for the SIG, you couldn't make that happen. It was like, everything I was saying, like, wasn't registering for him. It's like, no, you really should have taken the deal while you were here, but you didn't, so, you know, not my problem. I mean, it's unfortunate for him, but, like, the market just tanked. Yeah, my cost went from 16 to 13, so, essentially, that's actually probably about right, because if I offered him 1,200, and now the price has gone down 3, so I'd be like $900 now, and he just, yeah. I just told him, I'm like, hold on to it, you know, we'll revisit it another day. So yesterday I had a guy come in. He was, we were doing a background check on him, and he got delayed. So I was like, typically what I do is on the back of the NICS check that says he got delayed, I just have the customer write down their phone number. That way I can just call them whenever the proceed comes back. And while he's writing down his phone number, I guess he gets this text. He's like, check this out. He's got some buck-naked woman on there, and, like, just spread eagle. He's like, check this out, and left. And I had another customer at the time that was in there. He showed him the phone as well. And he's like, he said, I'm in the military, and never through basic training or just through anything have I seen anything like that before. He's like, I've never had anyone just walk up and show me porn on their phone and then just leave. I was like, brother, I'm right there with you. Like, how do you respond to something like that? Honestly, I'm in there just trying to finish up the paperwork, you know, to put it in there that he got delayed and his number, Nick's number and everything, and he turns around, his phone just shows me porn. I was like, what in the world is wrong with people? The next one I got, so I've mentioned this guy before, and the bad choices keep happening. So I'll kind of catch you up to speed a little bit here. There was a guy, he had it was a Radical AR-15, all tricked out, red dot, grip, you know, he had all these accessories. A long time ago, he sold me that gun and bought a 300 Win Mag. He hated the 300 Win Mag, so then he sold me the 300 Win Mag for a 22 long rifle. He still has the 22, but now he's like, he doesn't have a AR-15, so he's like, look, I really want another AR. I shouldn't have really sold the Radical. It was kind of a, you know, I shouldn't have done that, but he just wanted a new gun, and the only way to afford that was to sell his Radical. So he came in yesterday, and was like, hey, look, I got a little bit of money saved up. I want a new AR. I said, no problem. The cheapest one I have in here right now it's a Radical RF-15. It's $650. He came in here with $500, hoping that I had a used one, but at the moment I don't. So he's like, I'm like $100 off. I can't afford the Radical right now. I'm like, look, I straight up told him this. I said, look, you really have been talking about this Radical for months now. I told him, I'm like, I don't need to make a sale here. how about you go home, save up for another month or two or whatever, and then come back and get the gun you want. And he looks at me, he basically goes, nah, I really want a gun today. So, like, out of nowhere, he's looking at my AR-15s. He does like a 180, and he goes, I see you have a nice Charles Daly over there. I could use another turkey gun. And, like, I don't want to, like, visibly make, any kind of facial expressions or anything when people make bad decisions, but I almost wanted to just, like, facepalm myself in the sense of he's been saving up to try to buy a Radical to get another AR-15 that he regrets selling. And he just blew all his savings on a Charles Daly. It was a 601 little semi-auto gun. They're alright for what they are, but that's not what he's been... For months now, this guy's been talking about getting another AR. And then we just throw all that out the window. So then his wife came in. He's a younger guy, but his wife came in and was like, I told you could get an AR. What in the world are you doing with a shotgun? So she wasn't a happy camper. I still don't understand the logic, but... So now he'll probably come back in next week. Mark my words, I've talked about this guy before. I will probably be talking about this guy again in the future. Some people have no, like, self-control, and you see it a lot in the gun shop where, I get it. You come in, there's a lot of cool guns. I got one of my buddies that comes in every now and then. Same thing, doesn't have a whole lot of money, but he wants a hunting gun, he wants a revolver, he wants this and this and this, and I tell him, like, look, if you won the lottery, came in and bought every gun you want, that would really sort of, like, just, for lack of a better word, the magic of just, building your collection and just having fun with guns. I said, like, don't rush it. Don't make bad decisions. Just get the guns as you can afford them. And I feel like that's a lot more of a fun process. Just save up, keep checking some things out, and then get the gun you want. Don't just blow all your money on a shotgun you probably don't want. But I feel like a lot of people, what I see a lot is people just, they need a gun right then and there. They'll get rid of guns that they don't really want to get rid of to afford the gun they want. And then looking back, now you're trying to... They put this big speed bump in. I've probably talked about it before, but it's funny watching cars, like, full speed hit the speed bump. You might have even heard that, I don't know. I might have to blur that out a little bit, but... yeah, it's a shame. People just... They have all these beautiful guns that they get rid of to afford a new one, and then they come in, like, almost every time and say, man, I really like the gun I bought, but I shouldn't have gotten rid of the other one. And it's a shame, but people just... I feel like logic just goes out the window sometimes for people. Like, I've seen people just drain their bank accounts, max out their credit cards, like, just some horrible moves just so they can get the gun right then and there. And it's a shame. It really is, but anywho. And I guess the last one for today. So I don't know how up to date. The last time I checked, gunpowder is, and sort of reloading supplies in general, are a little hard to come by right now. So anyone who comes in, even if it's a gun, they have something called allocations, which means there's a low demand, but a very high, or low demand. If you can't tell, it's been a long week for me. Low supply, high demand. There we go. So basically, as soon as they're making these products, they're already sold. Like, there's a buyer for them, even if it's a distributor, and then as soon as they get to the distributor, people have them sold. So what I tell people is, look, especially, like, in this guy's instance, powder, but if it's a gun or whatever, I'm like, look, there's something called a wish list. I can put myself on the wish list, and then that way, as soon as it does pop up, where my rep, my the company, whatever, someone will contact me and say, hey, we see this is on your wish list. We have one set aside for you if you still want it. And that's typically the best way to get like sort of hard to get items. So I had this guy come in, it's been about a week ago now, and he wanted me to allocate some black powder for him from a company called Bullseye. So I said, yeah, sure. I gave him the whole spiel. It's like, look, this stuff could pop up in stock tomorrow. It could pop up in stock a year from now. I don't know. I don't have any idea what the timetable is, but as soon as it does become available, I'll get some. And he seemed to understand it, you know. So he came in on Tuesday, like about a week later, maybe not even, but about a week later, like huffing and puffing, like, oh, well, you told me you were going to get me some Bullseye. How long am I supposed to wait? And, like, I had to go through, like, it's almost painful explaining to people, like, look, I don't work for Bullseye. I don't work for any of the distributors that Bullseye deals with. So I don't know what's going on at Bullseye. I work for Pearson Firearms. I don't know Bullseye's production schedule, what their lead times are. I don't know any of that because I don't work for Bullseye. So I explained to him, I'm like, look, I mean, don't go getting mad at me. I don't know Bullseye and how their company operates and all that. And he just, like, he almost couldn't understand that there's like a national shortage of gunpowder right now, and I should have hard and fast answers for how long this stuff will take to get back in stock. And I was like, and he kept like, he really didn't understand it. He kept going like, well, do you have a ballpark timetable? I said, no. What did I just say? I don't work for Bullseye. No, I don't know when they're going to be back in stock. The problem right now is that a lot of companies can't keep up with ammo production as it sits. So why are they going to give, you or me, the consumers, the gunpowder when they need it for their own ammo? So powder right now is iffy. And just the audacity at a week from now. So he comes in on Tuesday, huffing and puffing. He's like, oh, I know you're a small shop and you can't get anything, but I'm going to be taking my business elsewhere. I wanted to help you out as a small business. And I told him, I said, there's a Cabela's about an hour north from me. I said, you can hop in your car right now and go up to Cabela's, and I don't think they'll have any gunpowder. I really don't. They might, but I doubt it. Like the specific, because he also, not only is there a shortage of gunpowder, but the stuff he wants is like ultra specific. So I don't think he'll be finding it, but who knows? I'm on the wish list for it. But it's one of those things where, as a human being, I just want to say, please go somewhere else. Like, I'm not gonna, if you're gonna come in, next week or a week after and, keep yelling at me and screaming at me for something that I have no control over, then at that point I want to tell you to go somewhere else. But, as a business owner, I can't tell people to screw off kind of thing. So I don't know. If it only took 1 week for him to kind of blow his lid and lose his mind, I'm sure he'll be back a week or two from now, and at that point I probably will have to tell him to just take his business elsewhere, but I think he'll realize quickly that it's not me, it's, gunpowder right now is harder to get. So I don't understand people. These people come in, what do you mean? He's like, what do you mean you don't know Bullseye's entire operating procedure and their everything about Bullseye? And it's just, all it tells me on my end is that it's out of stock. You can back order it or wish list it or whatever, and that's all I know. But these people are just so charged right now. It's insane. But anywho, that is my list of odd stuff for this week. Hopefully I can kind of catch up on some things and go from there, but just insanity. If you stick around this long, I'll tell you, next door like I said, he moved out next door, so I'm probably going to put a bunch more retail and stuff over there. So stay tuned. I'll be showing you guys that in a little bit. Just as I slowly just, continue to grow. It's the same thing I was telling you with like gun collections is I think it's fun for me. I could go to the bank right now, take out $1 million loan or whatever, and then just completely stock this place full of stuff. But at the end of the day, I find it a lot more fun to be like week by week buying new guns and new accessories and just the whole process of it. Pepsi from lunch is fighting me now. The whole process is fun for me. And so like right now, I have a little cabinet for knives, but I'm getting too many handguns. So I would like to move the refrigerator next door and then buy some kind of cabinet for the knives so that way I can use the knife cabinet for more guns. And it's just the whole thing of just growing and, these little sort of challenges that pop up here and there. It's a lot of fun. It really is. So now I'm going to have to move the fridge next door and buy a new locking cabinet for the knives so that way I can hold more handguns. And it's just good problems to have and fun, growing. But I guess I'll leave it there. Any video ideas, let me know. Anything you want to talk about or whatever, let me know. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. How's it going, everybody? I thought I would come over here and show you a little sneak preview of what I'm working with. This right here will be the expanded shop in about a month now. I need, obviously, get some more inventory and whatnot, but also has incredibly loud lights, so I don't know if I'll be filming over here very often, but thought I'd give you guys a little sneak peek.